Welcome to this new series on this YouTube channel called A Day With. He's a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine. We've been knowing each other for many years. He's the GoPro legend, the creative fellow that has been in charge of most of the production at GoPro. Yeah, let's not wait any longer. Abe Kislevitz, ladies and gentlemen. And first of all, let's actually switch over to the HERO13. Actually, when we're with you, we're gonna shoot everything on the HERO13. So this series is about spending a full day with one of my friends, seeing how he shoots, seeing a basic day in his life, behind the scenes stuff, but also fun stuff. So today we're gonna go over to one of your favorite places.
Yeah, we're gonna go up to Mammoth. Do a little camping this weekend. We're gonna take Benny mountain biking for the first time. Yeah. So it'll be very fun. Test out the HERO13, get some lots of fun angles, and have a beautiful camping weekend in the woods.
Let's head over to Mammoth. Oh, and I also did forget to mention that if you haven't watched the previous video that I released a few days ago about the HERO13, go watch it. So now we are gonna shoot a hyperlapse with the ND filter on.
Yeah, so we're gonna shoot Timewarp on the camera, and Timewarp is basically a stabilized time lapse, so it'll have stabilization on there. I like to shoot with a wide lens, and then I add real steady in post, which makes it even more steady. So that's just two kind of extra layers of stabilization that'll give it.
That I didn't know.
Yeah.
Didn't know you can add real steady stabilization after in post also to make it even smoother. Yeah. Tips for you guys.
And we're gonna use an ND filter on here to get nice motion blur. We're gonna lock our ISO at 100 so the shutter elongates, but we're still gonna have an auto shutter. So we don't have to set a manual shutter, but we're gonna be going in and out of trees. So if we max out the ISO at 100, it'll force the camera to get the proper exposure, but make it have that longer shutter time. Here we go, let's see how it goes.
So for all these wide cinematic shots, we use the Anamorphic, because that's how you get that wide of a field of view, even more 21:9 type of feeling.
Oh my god.
Okay, there we go. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we're about to go downhill and do a little POV. Benny was shooting with the macro lens to get some nice close-ups and some vlog stuff on the lift, and he's switching to the ultra-wide lens, which is the best for POV. You want to get the most amount of vertical, the most amount of the bike in the shot, plus the sky, plus the trails. So if you want that more immersive look, better for POV, make it look faster, the ultra-wide lens is going to be the way to go. Let's do it.
Oh, look at her, she's flying. The amount of focus it requires, it's like dirt bike. It is so beautiful.
Fun shot. We are taking the GoPro roll bar mount, which is kind of like the handlebar mount, but bigger. And on the front suspension, you can put this around. Just make sure it doesn't get anywhere near the tire because you don't want to mess yourself up. Secure and sturdy. And then we're gonna put a HERO13 with the ultra wide lens, turn on horizon lock so that he's gonna be tilting his bike back and forth, going over jumps. And it's just gonna be a sick, steady shot of his feet and then pretty much the whole bike looking backwards. And this seems pretty sturdy, nothing's in the way. And then this thing, it's got a little tab on it so you can flip it around forward.
chilly. Shower number 2 on the parking lot. It is cold when the wind hits.
Is it back here, the towel?
Can you see the chills? Probably with the macro lens, you can see it. It is shitty. And it dries you off. It's actually like if you're in a woman, in a human hand dryer, you know, in 2 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks solid. If you ever wondered how Abe gets the creative shots that he's always doing with his Bronco, this is apparently one of them. 3 of the GoPro suction cup, 1 of the GoPro pole, 2 of these carbon fiber extender, and then the attachment point for the HERO13 on top. And then you have this really nice static fixed perspective of the side of the car.
With the HERO13, we now are producing our own ND filters, and when you attach the ND filter on the camera, it knows which ND is on and it switches it into settings that make everything work. So we have a switch for auto, cinematic, motion blur, and what we're doing is we're regulating the amount of blur that you get, but keeping it so that hypersmooth still works with it. So we've done a lot of testing and we are minimizing the ISO, so you minimal noise, and then putting you into a perfect little shutter speed.
Yeah, so you still have the right shutter speed to have motion blur, but not enough for the hypersmooth to not be blurry.
And then we've got the pneumatic mounts, which are very handy.
This is so good. This is so satisfying. Yeah, all of these new lenses from the HERO13, the fact that they recognize exactly which one is which. So when you put the macro on, you recognize the fact that it's the macro. When you put the anamorphic lens, it recognizes that it's the anamorphic. So it does all the work for you, so you don't have to think about it. And for the ND filters, I've always been struggling with ND filters, trying to figure out, like, looking at the screen, is it really well exposed? Am I gonna get some blur and so on? Like, now the camera knows it for you. It does the job, which is pretty sick.
I realized I had a bite mount in my mouth with no camera. It's just, you get so caught up in what you're doing. I'm like, oh yeah, bite mounts in my mouth. I just gotta keep doing that.
So this is how you shoot the POV. Use the bite mount. Oh my God, this is steep. And hold it in front of your eyes while driving, only on off-road, not on the road. Don't do this on the road. As our day is about to end, this is the one thing that I've always admired Abe for, his night lapses. He masterized this, and it's always that one thing that I've been struggling with. So I'm gonna ask all the settings.
Well, just when you think you're ready to go to bed and get a great night's sleep, you come out here and spend 2 hours framing up different angles, trying different photos, seeing what works, and then finally you're ready to go to bed and set up one night lapse. They're always worth it because it's always really fun to capture.
Yeah, the last one that I shot night lapse was in Egypt in February this year. I think it took me like an hour and a half just because I wanted to have the perfect angle, and with the amount of tests I did and stuff like this. And then at the end of the day, I think I messed up one of the settings, so it was actually useless.
We've got a couple new fun things with the HERO13. One of them is this magnetic latch door, so now you can power it. Waterproof, really easy. I have this USB-C plugged into an external battery pack. And then also we're using the magnetic latch here. So that's double easy. Get in, power it, and this thing's ready to go. For the night lapse, I typically start by setting it into night photo mode. I can take test shots and see what an individual frame is going to look like. We want to talk about settings in this thing. The basic ones are shutter 30 seconds, interval auto, and then from there you're kind of tinkering with ISO, tinkering with white balance, down in the 4,000 range for the white balance.
Oh yeah, and sharpness maybe.
Sharpness low.
And the color flat as well, if you want to post color.
It's nice to just
footage
do
after.
flat. And then camera can do night lapse video, and so it's basically just taking those photos and stitching them automatically in camera and into a video. And I typically do that. You could shoot photos raw, you will get better quality out of it, but you're dealing with the post-processing work of going into Lightroom and editing all the raws, and it can be worth it if you're, you know,
Really
taking the night lapse of your life.
Yeah, this time we'll do night lapse video.
I think we'll do one night lapse video here, and then we'll do one Startrails over there.
Yeah.
Startrails is pretty fun because it's like a composite video where it's stacking on top of each other, and they always just come out really great, and you don't really have to fiddle with the settings. They've kind of dialed it in pretty good inside the GoPro. So what we're gonna do with the Startrails is find the North Star, and then that means that every star is gonna be circling around the North Star. So we'll get really nice concentric circles and just aim the middle of the camera into the North Star.
Perfect. That's the last trick. Better to remove those.
Sometimes I like to remove the cover glass just in case lights around end up beaming into it, and then you'll get some reflections here and there. I'm sure you're seeing some reflections
right
and
now.
Stuff into this macro lens. I can see the dust in there.
I know I need to clean this one. I think it's under. Oops. Wait, let me switch it like this.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So yeah, that's the last trick. I hope the night lapse was as good as it is. This is the end of this video. A day with Abe Kislevitz. But thanks so much for sharing everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like proper insights I've personally wanting to get myself. So I'm glad we did this video. If you like the format, please let me know. I'm gonna do some more with Oscar Backe, Riley, or Ripke. If you are not following Abe or subscribe to his channel, I'll put also the link down in the description. Check him out as well eventually.
All right. Thanks for joining. We'll see you guys on the next one.
I'ma put it in my pussy. Give me some, I'ma put it in my tush. Give me